I'll take you back to when we started. I told you there are many forms of how your estate can be, how you can manage your estate. For the longest time, like you've said, people have been using companies. You don't want the property to be under your name, yes?
Yeah.
So that is one way. Like I told you, the trust is basically, it's you to dictate.
Now that we are talking about family trust,
Yes.
I can see a lot of benefits.
Yes.
But the name of the trust is family trust.
Yes.
What happens when a person is not a member of the family? Can he be included within the trust? Welcome to Hyssop TV. My name is Ebenezer. I am the general manager here at Hyssop Properties. Today we are shooting from Hyssop Center right here at 𝗕𝗺𝗂𝘂, our main office. And we are joined by a very special guest who will be covering a very interesting topic that many people have really asked about. I would like her to introduce herself as we carry on.
Thank you, Ebenezer. My name is 𝗧𝗿𝗂𝘁𝗵. I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya with keen interest in matters real estate and property law. And thank you for welcoming me to your space. And I hope the people who are watching us will learn one or two things. Asante.
Karibu sana, karibu sana. You like the mandhari here?
Yes, it's fresh air away from the city. I'm glad to be here, of course.
Of course, we are under a tree. You can see it's quite a beautiful space.
Yes.
I know you have really dealt with a lot of things. This is matters real estate, but if we could give a backbone of the whole conversation. This conversation started when we were processing some documents for our clients. Of course, 𝗧𝗿𝗂𝘂𝘁𝗵 has really worked with us over the years, and people do not know how to manage their wealth when it comes to real estate, and they have been asking us a lot of questions. So I've been buying land for 10 years. How do I consolidate all this wealth? How do I handle succession with my children, with my family? What if I want it to be generational wealth? How do I handle it? And that is why we are here today. 𝗧𝗿𝗂𝘂𝘁𝗵 has a lot of experience in this, and I would like her to lead us through this topic as we carry on.
Thank you, Ebenezer, once again, and I'm glad to be here. As I said before, the way you've told the viewers is that there are many challenges in this industry, and maybe to take you back to our roots, land is everything. And not even land, it's the asset, it's the money, it's the shares, and it's everything that everyone wants to know. How do I guide my property? How is it going to be managed so that we don't end up with a lawsuit after I'm long gone? So for today, I would like to narrow down the conversation so that the viewers are able to follow, and I believe you'll call me back for more series.
Okay.
So what you're going to do today, we're going to deal with one of the many forms that you, the viewer, can use to manage your estate and to ensure that your wealth is well protected. So Ebenezer, allow me to introduce the topic of the day.
Please do, please do.
That is family trust. I know everyone is like, what is that family trust? You've been seeing it on Business Daily. You've been seeing it, with the wealthy guys once they die, and you're wondering what is family trust. So if you allow me, I'll guide the viewer on one of the ways they can protect their assets. So let's begin with what is a family trust. The definition in a very simple way, without giving you all the legal acts and all the laws. I know you don't want to hear that, and I might lose you. I would want to say that then a family trust is an instrument. It's a legal instrument that or where you as Ebenezer, you transfer your property to someone called a trustee, and that person manages that estate on behalf of your beneficiaries. So already I know you're asking, who is a beneficiary? So a beneficiary is someone you would want them to benefit from, let's say, your land in Runda, or let's say even in Muranga, no matter where the property is, you would want your children or your great-grandchildren to benefit from this land.
Yeah.
So like I have said, it's an arrangement where you just want to manage. It's like a house. You're building for yourself a house where you are able to monitor your estate. Let me give you an example. So Ebenezer is of whatever age. Let's say you're over 18. You've bought property A, B, C, and D, and you are seeing you'd want this property to benefit your children 10 years, 50 years, 100 years to come. So what do? You decide, let me be part of this house. Like I said, it's like a house. So let me join this legal arrangement, I would call it. And when you do that, you deposit your property in the land, and everything, your shares, your money, and you decide who's gonna be the head of that house. So that person is called a settler. That person is one who is going to manage the whole estate, and you're going to tell them, or you're going to dictate how that estate is going to be managed. And let's say there's a grandchild you're seeing and you'd like them to benefit from anything, you'd be like, when Nancy or whoever gets to this age, I would want them to get school fees or buy a house from this property. So like I said, it's something you can control. It's like your house, you know, you're preparing for what is going to come in future. Yes.
Just to take you back, you said that it's preparation for future.
Yes.
We have had a lot of cases over the years where there are succession battles.
Yes.
Say you married 2 wives.
Yes.
And you have a lot of property. So once you're gone, there is one property in Runda, the other one is in Kamakis. People prefer the one that is has higher value. So there are a lot of wrangles within the family. So are you saying that these trusts help eliminate all that? And another question would be, when it comes to equality, how do you balance that? Say you have 2 beneficiaries, how will you balance that through the trust?
I would like to say that the choice is yours. It's like a form, like I said, there are many forms of managing your estate after you're long gone, and I would want to now take you back to a form that everyone knows. Yes. So there's another form that is called a will, where you write down, I would want this to happen and this to happen, this property to be sold, or whatever is in your will. So for family trust, it's almost similar, but with benefits. By benefits, I mean you're not limited to who your beneficiary is, and you're going to state the same way. You're going to say property A to this beneficiary, property B to this. They can even share. The choice is yours. You're not limited. But during this conversation, I'll bring down the benefits of the trust compared to the will, so that the viewers can decide whether they'll go the will way or the family trust way.
Okay. So you can go either of the two.
The choice is yours, but of course with legal guidance, we are able to see which one is going to benefit your estate better. Yes.
Maybe we could state a few differences between the will and the family trust. I know there is a cost implication when it comes to registering the two. A will is a will registered really?
Actually, no. A will is you just write down your wishes, but it has to have met certain requirements. So you just don't write and keep quiet. It has to follow certain requirements so that it's not challengeable in court. So that's one of the things. And for now, I'll just ask the viewers to, if they're looking at the will, they should just know the legal requirements. I won't get to that today, but we can look at it later on. But going back to trust, I'd say if you're looking for a trust, it's more of you are able to predict what is going to happen to you. Not that you're seeing yourself, you're living, but you're even able to manage the estate at that point, you know. So maybe for a will in our society, you do not want to talk about the will and tell your kids, shamba X nimepea Kamau. It's more of a secret in our society. But if I was to compare it to the trust, you even manage it while you're around. You are able to hire someone to take care of your house. Let's say it's rental, and you're able to say it should go to this account. It's not more of a secret, and it has other benefits that we'll get to. Yes.
Yeah. The biggest issue we have within our country is it illiteracy? We don't really know. We don't really know where to apply this to. We don't really know where we can use the will. We don't really know where to use the trust. And mostly it's us. But we see people like the Indian community, they are able to have progressive generational wealth, and they're able to manage even their businesses within the family, and it spans different generations. But within our country now, the other communities, people are not able to do that. You see, if you have a very successful business, it's not able to get to the next generation, because we are not able to succeed it to the next generation. Is that the right word?
That's the right word.
Okay.
So I would say it's a challenge, and I would say I don't know, but a lot of us, or about a lot of your viewers, wouldn't have known about family trust. It's something that for the longest time has been preserved for the wealthy man. You know, it's the wealthy man has known that if I die, I don't want court cases, you know, following my generation. And you know what happens, that some cases can even take 50 years or 20, you know. So for now, I would say we are getting there because of social media. My viewer today is going to see this clip on TikTok, and they're going to know that there's something called a family trust. So I would say we are getting there. People are knowing more about the will, the family trust, the companies, wherever you want to, you know, however you want to protect your property. But I believe if anyone wants to keep it locked, or wants to see more of this conversation, they can follow your TV and know, you know, they don't have to be in the dark like they have been for years.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about income from assets.
Yes.
For instance, we are selling some apartments that are going for 9.9 million shillings. And of course, our clients will be collecting some income from there in terms of rental income on a monthly basis. So how do they manage that through the trust? What is are they going to be paying any tax because of that?
Okay. So what I would say is that's one of the benefits of family trust. In a nutshell, I would call it tax planning. There are many benefits that have been brought to this thing called family trust, and it has happened maybe in the last 2 years, and it's because there was needs to help now the Kenyan community to know how to protect their estate, like we've been saying. So around 2022, there are many changes that have happened to encourage people to put their property, their shares in a family trust. And one of the benefits is that income that is generated within the family trust may be exempted from maybe income tax, or is lower, you know. It depends how you set up your trust, and for that I would ask the viewers to seek legal guidance, because there are different types of trust as well. So I would say it's a way to, you know, save a coin or two in this economy, because I'll now take you to the conversation of what happens when you want to move property X under Ebenezer to the Ebenezer Trust, let's say. So you'll be exempted from tax as well. And that means you've saved a few coins. And that is encouraging a lot of people to, you know, put the land in this trust, or, you know, able to manage their property. I wouldn't tell the viewer that you're exempted from all types of tax. It depends with, you know, the setup, and it depends with the transfer from who to who. If you want to put it in a family trust, let's say from you, like I've said, it's exempted from capital gains and stamp duty. If it's from, let's say, the trust to a beneficiary, like I told you, a beneficiary is someone who has been catered for in that family trust. Of course, their name is well stated, and it has been described what property they're going to get. They're also going to be exempted from taxes. And it's a way to welcome the viewers to, you know, save a few coins. Yes, yeah.
Now that we are talking about family trust, I can see a lot of benefits.
Yes.
But the name of the trust is family trust.
Yes.
What happens when a person is not a member of the family? Can he be included within the trust?
Yes. So maybe what I'll guide you with is this family trust is not something that Ebenezer just wakes up and says, let me bring property B today, you know. It is well structured. Before it's registered, you'll have a document called a trust deed.
Okay.
I would want to say it's like a constitution. Remember, I told you it's your house and you're depositing money, property, you're building up for the future. So this trust deed, basically, you can even say it's the Ebenezer family trust, you know, and it's where you know what you want. You're writing the reason for this trust. You are expressly stating who are the beneficiaries and who is going to manage this trust and even their powers. Remember, it's not you. Maybe you're long gone. There's a trustee who's been left behind. He's not going to start, you know, acting on his own will and selling whatever he wants. No, it's written down. Yeah, and that is the process. And it takes a lot of time to come up with what you want. Maybe if it's a family, it's back and forth. What would you want to happen 10 years? Which property? So the trust deed is going to be so detailed that you can tell what will happen when a new property or new property is brought in, and can you dispose of the property, and to whom you can dispose this property to.
Okay.
Yes. So very detailed. It's a constitution. Like I said, it's a house. So you have the rules and guidelines. So if you're 20 years gone, we can still refer to the documents. And if you're not, you can still amend, or you can still, you know, add more things to it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And how does it compare with say setting up a company or something? Because that is what actually happens within our country. If you don't want your property to be in your name,
Yes.
most people just set up a company, and then the property is set up in their name or is registered in their name. So how does that compare with having a trust?
Okay, I'll take you back to when we started. I told you there are many forms of how your estate can be, you know, how you can manage your estate. For the longest time, like you've said, people have been using companies. You don't want the property to be under your name. Yes.
Yeah.
So that is one way. But if I'm to compare the two, I would say it depends on what you're looking for, because a family trust has the laws that are governing it, and companies have the laws that are governing it. And if you're looking for tax exemptions, both of them have tax exemptions, but it depends at what time and at what point. So you can change your property to maybe yourself, but if you want to transfer it to your kids, you will not be exempted from taxes. And probably it's a prime property, so you end up paying some duty. But if it was in a family trust, then you'd be exempted from some duty. It depends with what you're looking for. It depends with whether you have guidance. Right now, people are moving from companies to family trust, and that is highly influenced by the fact that people want to, you know, be in a position to predict what will happen to property A or their investments. Yes.
I would like us to now move into registering a trust.
Yes.
So question number one is, do you have to be within the country to do it? Because a lot of our diaspora clients are maybe in America, they're in Europe, they're in the UAE. Probably they would like to set up the trust. So do you really need to be within the country for you to do that, or can you do it remotely? Can you hire or remote to do it remotely?
Yeah, you can seek legal guidance, of course, and as long as you're Kenyan, then you can register your trust in Kenya. So maybe what would happen is I give them the process, and then with that, you know, of course, if there are documents you need to sign here and there, your advocate would want to see you, or they would facilitate how you can sign the document wherever you are. But basically, you're not limited.
Okay.
Yes.
And the second question would be, how long would it take to now register a family trust?
Let me, Ebenezer, if I may, let's see what happens or what's the process of registering a trust. Like I've told you, we begin with the trust deed, the constitution. I called it the constitution of your trust.
Okay.
So that is basically drafting, listing down your assets, what is going to happen, who is going to manage these assets, and what not. The same is in writing. It's in proper documentation, and it has to be registered, yes. So that doesn't take long. But if there is, you know, maybe I'll help you come up with the first draft, and then your relatives or whoever is concerned with this trust, of course, is able to, you know, review and see, does this capture what I want to do with my property? That can take a bit of long, but legally the registration process is not so long. If we have the trust deed, the document ready, we register it as it should be. And then the next step is now formalizing so that you get a certificate associated with the trust. Initially, the process was under the Ministry of Lands.
Okay.
It was cumbersome, to say the least. It was, you follow up on your document. It would take long. It would take so long. But I don't know. But recently, the same is on BRS. Yes. And anyone who's used BRS, it's a way that it doesn't take so long, and you can monitor the progress on the BRS platform, meaning that it's easier. And that's one of the ways the government is just trying to encourage people, like, get into this arrangement, you know. So I would say, let's say 4 months.
Okay.
Yes, because I've also counted the back and forth, making sure everything is okay, registering the trust deed, and also now registering it under BRS.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. For people who don't know BRS.
BRS is this platform. It's the Business Registration Services, if I'm not wrong, and it is where the registrar of companies, or it's government-centered platform where you're able to follow up on your companies, your foundations, and your trust now. Yes, you can access it on eCitizen, meaning that if your excuse is, I don't have money to do all this, to involve an advocate, most services are on that platform, and you probably can access them wherever you are, as long as you have internet connection.
Okay.
Yes.
We have had questions on mental wellness.
Yes.
Say you have a mentally challenged kid or a special child. How would that apply when it comes to a family trust, and what are the benefits that come with that?
I would say that would also be up to the settler. The settler, I told you, is someone who's now, you know, coming up with this trust, or is the one provoking the trust process. So, like you've said, you probably have in mind the challenges that child is facing. You probably know they're not going to be independent, and for how long, or what their, you know, their growth rate is going to be. So for that, I can say you can always write down something to help them. You know, is it some money for their hospital bills? Is it insurance? You're not limited, you know, they're all catered for. Everyone is catered for, and they're not being left behind, for sure. Yes. It's up to you to dictate how you do want them to benefit from your trust.
Okay.
Yes.
This includes the minors.
Yes,
people who are below 18 years.
Yes.
We've had cases where, say, siblings they're so spread out. One is 30 years, the other one is 20 years, the other one is maybe 15 years. So when it comes to now succession, that becomes an issue, because these people are not able to manage that property properly, especially if it is divided amongst themselves. So the person who is too young to handle a certain property ends up misusing it. So how is that covered within the trust?
Like I told you, the trust is basically, it's you to dictate. You know, you have a small one, 𝗕𝗂𝗶𝗹𝘆 brothers wake wamnyanyase. You can say that when they reach 18, I would want them to get this car. I would want them to have the apartment in Lavington, and the brothers can't do anything about it. It's your wish, and you are bright enough to have a family trust, and see that would be an issue.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Talking about structure
Yes.
of the family trust,
Mm-hmm.
would there be like a management company to take care of the property? Say they are collecting rent. How does that work?
So what happens basically is you've appointed this, let's say the trustee, the person who is in charge of managing your estate,
Okay.
and you already know you have apartment A, B, C, and D. Like I said, the work is in the drafting of the trust deed. So you can preempt and say that I would want the trustee to even, get more help or seek assistance from a management company that the family trust is going to be paying to manage the estate. So you do not have to worry about that. Yeah, they are able to seek assistance to just ensure everything is benefiting the beneficiaries. Yes.
Okay. Or can you have like a caretaker?
Yes, yes.
In the family trust, and
Yes.
just say that this person will be taking care of the properties.
You probably wouldn't know who will be alive 50 years from now. But you can say that at all times there will be someone who is taking care of this, and it's up to the trustee to ensure if they can't do it themselves. I don't want the viewer to think this family trust is for a wealthy man in Lavington, a former MP. It doesn't matter. You could be having one apartment and you'd want that apartment to be used by the future generation. You can state that if the trustee is still around at that time, they can as well be the caretaker. You can even say hata alipwe hiyo pesa yenye itakuwa deemed fit at that time, Yes, so you're not limited, and that's a benefit. With family trust, it's you, it's your house. Yes, we are not going to tell the judge to saidia sasa. When it comes to the wills, they could be challenged, and now you leave it to the court to decide. Person X needs this, or you didn't even have a will, and now it's up to the judge to say, let's give this person and this one was a beneficiary. We're even trying to see prove to us whether you are a beneficiary.
Yeah.
But with family trust, it's you. It's up to you. Yeah.
Okay. So that is quite clear. We can see a lot of benefits.
Yes.
When it comes to succession, we have talked about kids. We have talked about special kids. Let's say people who are maybe physically impaired. I believe it's time to take a small commercial break. What do you think?
Yes.
So we will be back in a few. I know this is getting very exciting. Let's continue after this break.
Hi there, and welcome to Ruaka. Not just Ruaka, 𝗕𝗺𝗺 Plaza in Ruaka. And I'm standing in a 2-bedroom apartment that comes fully furnished that you are going to buy purely because you understand what the investment means. Now, first, before I talk about investment, let me tell you about this 2-bedroom apartment. It comes with an ensuite master bedroom, a guest bedroom with a guest bathroom. And when I say comes fully furnished, I mean when you pay the 9.9 million to buy this, you get everything you see. Yes, you get the living room furniture, you get the bedroom furniture, you get a fully equipped kitchen, and also this is a mixed-use development, which means downstairs, I'm on the 8th floor, you get 2 banks. You've got Cooperative Bank and NCBA. There's a hospital here in 𝗕𝗺𝗺 Plaza, and there's also a restaurant. Now, why am I smiling? I can see those of you who get it have already decided, Caroline, let's go. Airbnb, you said it before I did. And think about it this way, you pick it and they take care of making sure you get your clients. Isn't that the best thing about 𝗕𝗺𝗺 Plaza? And then, in a separate conversation, I'm going to entice you to consider putting this, especially if you're thinking investment, and you're thinking investment for your children, put it in a trust. Why not? I think, as far as 2025 goes, this is one of the most amazing and clear investment deals I've brought your way. Let me say it again, 9.9 million, 2 bedrooms, fully furnished. So what you do is call this number right now and make sure you come and have a look at this apartment and make your investment at 𝗕𝗺𝗺 Plaza in Ruaka. Oh, Ruaka wapi? Literally 5 minutes up the road from 2 Rivers. How's that? How's that? Well done.
Welcome back to Hyssop TV. Your host today, Ebenezer from Hyssop Properties. Today with me is our guest, 𝗨𝗨, who we have talked about a number of things, majoring on family trusts. And as we finish, I would like us to cover one last thing. There are people who take time before they set up their succession. 𝗨𝗨, would you tell us what challenges this poses?
Number one challenge, I would say you leave it up to the court to decide now what happens after you're gone. And that can cause, a lot of delay in distributing your estate, number one. Number two, you can imagine the legal costs that the beneficiaries have to bear, and it's something you can predict, and it's something you can prevent. So the second challenge would be mismanagement of property. So, of course, probably your property wouldn't be managed as you would wish, but now the family trust gives you an opportunity to, predict and give guidance on how you'd want that property managed. And number three, I would say just that uncertainty of people not knowing what they expect from you as their beneficiary, or what happens after you're long gone, and probably they are used to a certain lifestyle. Or, this is property that they've always wanted to be on, and now it's been challenged. Someone is even saying that's not your dad's property, and that's a certainty is not what it's not something you want, and it's something you can avoid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. What more can we say? Well, of course, we'd like to know a bit more about how people can handle successions. So in our next session, which will be on 2nd of June 2025, we will be having 𝗨𝗨 with us again, so that we are able to know what other forms of succession can someone consider when it comes to property and property management, real estate management, and everything. Anyway, as we finish, 𝗨𝗨, do you have a book that you would love that you would like to share with the viewers?
Of course, I have a book, and I read a lot of books, but one that is going to be in line with the topic of today would be Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Yes.
Okay. Why do you love this book?
I wouldn't want to say I love it. I would want to say that it's in line with this conversation.
Okay.
And it probably provokes your mind to know what money can do, and what proper planning can do to your estate.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a lovely book by 𝗨𝗪 Kiyosaki. Of course, 𝗨𝗨 will be giving one of our listeners and one of our viewers this book, signed by 𝗨𝗨.
Signed by 𝗨𝗨, and I'll be giving. If you allow me, I'll sign. Like, I can sign and give a hack to the viewer who will be getting this book.
Okay.
Yes.
If you're there and you know how many times we have said the word family trust within this episode, and you state it at the comment section, if you're able to state it, then you will be the one who will be going home with this very lovely book. So you can count the number of times we have said family trust, family trust, family trust, family trust. And you will be receiving this book. So please leave your comment at the comment section, and you say how many times we have said family trust. Anyway, I'm glad that we did this. It has been quite insightful. I'm looking forward to much more, even from you, 𝗨𝗨. As we close, I would like to say that Hyssop Properties does its due diligence properly with the help of advocates, so that we make sure that the properties that we are selling are good and they have proper paperwork, and that we safeguard your interest as our customer. So be blessed as we wait for our next episode. Your host, Ebenezer, and our guest,
𝗨𝗨,
and this is Hyssop TV. Bye.